Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My goodness. Such a classic. I love music, man. Mainly because of my dad, which is not that. Your dad is epic, Ann. But my dad is epic to me, too. He's been a bass player my entire life, and that's where I get my love of music, my love of performing. He actually auditioned for Star Search. You remember that show? Yeah. He had a band called The Look. That was the name of the band, The Look. And they auditioned for Star Search. We have the VHS to prove it. And while he didn't become that famous, he did pass that love on to me. Now, growing up, there were sections of music that I was not allowed to listen to. Okay, I couldn't do your R&B and your hip hop, really, but that gave me the opportunity to fall in love with pop music. That's right. Now, I'm talking about the good pop, okay? I'm talking about the 90s, when they came up from the Mickey Mouse Club, you know, and then they got famous. I'm talking Christina Aguilera. I'm talking Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Justin Timberlake, New Edition. Was it New Edition? The good kind, okay? And I loved it so much, the classics. I loved it so much. So the day that I heard I was going to a Britney Spears concert, my life changed. Not that day, it changed later, whatever. And so come to find out that my dad's friend from The Look, he was the drummer, his name was Slam. While my dad had kept his endeavors relatively close in the DMV, Slam went on to be a famous drummer for Britney Spears. And went on tour with her, right. And so he called my dad up. He said, hey, we're in your area. Bring your daughter to the concert. I'll take you backstage and you'll have a good time. So off we went, and we were right next to the stage. So you had the main stage where she performed, and then you had this middle section where she would come out and interact with people, and we sat right alongside the middle section, okay? Now this was 90s, late 90s, early 2000s Britney, okay? She gave you everything you needed from the first, oh, baby, baby. You knew what was happening. And while Christina Aguilera was the singer, Britney was the performer. And perform she did. She came out and she hit us, baby, one more time. And she ended the show with, you know, the epic Slave for You. Now, she didn't have that yellow snake around her neck, like the video, but she had everything else. She had the outfit, she had the choreography, she had the dancers. And I mean, they were giving it. They were body rolling, and there were sticks coming up out the stage, and they're climbing on the sticks and their body rolling, talking about being a slave for you. Now, I can hear it now. As a teenager, that's probably not where I needed to be, but I had a great time. And just like in the video, the sky opened, or the roof, or the something, and then water came splashing down on the stage, and we got drenched. We did not. We got like wet. Okay, it was like somebody spit on us, but we were close enough, okay, to feel whatever was going on. And I thought, this is such an amazing day. What a wonderful experience for 15-year-old 10th grade Carol. So Slam comes out and he grabs us, and then we are on our way to the back. We wind through the crowd, and then we go backstage and we open up to where it's less, you know, sexy. It's like high ceilings and white walls, fluorescent lights. But we're walking, and it gets quieter and quieter because it's happening. We're going, okay? And so the hallway gets a little tighter as we make a couple turns, and we have to squish over to the left. We have people walking by on our right, just a line of people, very quickly, and we go, and as we step into the green room, I see this guy from my high school. I was like, Adam? What are you... It's so random. What are you doing here? Adam was in 9th grade, so he was beneath me, but I thought I'd speak to him. At this time, my high school was 99 students. We was very small. It's a small Christian school, so I'm already feeling convicted from the body roll, you know. How's my relationship with Jesus? I should. And so he tells me that his father is actually Britney Spears' guitar player. And I said, seriously? He's like, yeah, my dad's Skip. I was like, right, because everybody needs a name. Slam, Skip, let's do it. So he introduces me to his dad, and then he introduces me to his sister. She's older, much cooler. So I spend more time talking to her about how awesome the concert was and, how happy we are to be there. And she's like, yeah, we actually just met Britney. I was like, what? Yeah, she was just here. Her and Justin Timberlake. Now, I loved pop music, but I was obsessed with NSYNC. Hear me. It was Grant's chocolate chip cookie situation. That's how I felt about it. I had the bobbleheads, I had the marionettes, I had the teddy bears, I had the chapstick. Did you know there was an exclusive line of NSYNC chapstick? I had all 5. I even had the t-shirts. There was one shirt, it was like white with their faces on it. There's no way for me to make you know what that shirt looks like now, but I was all about NSYNC, but more so, I was in love with Justin Timberlake. That was the love of my life, okay? And not just puppy love, not some real fantastical teenage. We had the real thing. And I knew if I met him that he would look at me, I would look at him, and he would know that we were meant to be together. And so to hear that man had just been somewhere there, I took off running. I turned around, just out the back. I left, right, left, and now all the halls look the same. The walls are still white, the ceiling's high. I don't know where I am, but I get to a point where I don't see anyone. And so I'm sad, naturally. And I slink back like a little puppy, headed back to the green room. And I realized this is the second time I'm kind of doing this, and then it all kind of comes together. Those people who walked by me earlier, there was a big guy in all black, then there was a short, blonde girl with wet hair. And behind her was a dude with curly hair and a cap. And then another big guy in all black. That was Justin and Britney. Anyone worth their salt knows that between 99 and 2002, they were dating, right? And so he had come apparently to surprise her on tour because that's the kind of man that he is. And I didn't know that was him. I thought the love in my heart was gonna let me know. It did not, it failed me. And so I walked back into the green room and I talked to the sister. I said, are you sure they were just here? She said, yeah, I shook his hand. And so then I started to caress her hand very inappropriately because I thought maybe some residual love was still on it, okay? And it wasn't. So Slam, noticing how sad I am, he says, well, would you like a tour of her dressing room? And I'm like, I guess. At this point, all is null and void, but take me to the dressing room. And so we go into the room, he opens it up, and there are candles everywhere. They're not lit, but they're still warm. And well-worn, they're well-worn, they've like melted inside. And I thought, he set these up for her. He's so romantic, he shows up and he sits here and he waits in a room full of candles, candlelight. And I touched one, and when I felt the warmth, I knew what I needed to do. I stole it. I took it with me. I continued to look around the room, and over in the corner, there is a bottle of Gatorade. It's not a lot of Gatorade in there, but it's the blue kind. And I know that he would drink the blue kind because that's my favorite, and I know it would be his favorite. He was really into basketball. He's very athletic, works on his health a lot. And so I said that's what he drank while he sat here and waited for her. And I stole it. I took it home because that's as close as I could get. I kept those things for years in a shoebox under my bed. I kept them. I kept the Gatorade in the bottle until my mama found it, made me pour it out. But I still kept them because that's as close as I could get to the love of my life. Now, I know you've watched the news. I know. You've heard the stories. The memoir is out. I know. Okay, but what I want you to remember is that even though the old adage says you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, have you seen the cover? Have you seen Britney Spears' Instagram? She's dancing around with knives. She half naked. She's not well, okay? So what we need to do is pray for her, amen, but also stay focused. I need you to stay focused because the true story that we need to be paying attention to is when will NSYNC go back on tour? Okay? Okay? And you may be saying, and I'm going to say this and we're going to go home. You may be saying, Carol, why are you telling me this? I'm telling you, good people, because we're friends now. Okay? So when you see the crowdfunding campaign, when you see the link, when Carol's raising money to try to go to this concert, I just want you to consider donating, okay? Just consider it. Because even though I have still that childhood obsession and that audacity, I got bills. I got adult bills and responsibilities, but I still need to get to the love of my life, okay? So don't believe what you hear, don't believe what you read, don't believe what you see unless it's that link. Go ahead and donate. I want to thank you for your time and for your consideration in advance.